Over the next few minutes, we're going to give a demonstration of the Final Cut Pro operation on the Quantel SQ server. We're going to show a complete workflow, including handling live recording clips, immediate playback of edits from the Quantel SQ server, the benefits of what we call Delta publishing, and project exchange between Quantel editors and the Final Cut Pro. To begin the demonstration, we're going to start a new live high-definition recording of these snowmobile pictures. So here on the split screen on the left we have the live feed coming into our server, and on the right hand side of course we have the Final Cut Pro.
So in front of my Final Cut Pro here I have the server bin, which is showing me the contents of the Quantel server. If I come down to the bottom here, I have the recording which we've just begun. I can bring that into my Final Cut Pro, open it up into the viewing window, and we can then jump forward to the record head so we can see what's coming in live in the recording.
So I'm going to ask Anna now to put together 3 or 4 shots on the timeline, and to help us identify the edit as it moves through the presentation, I'll ask her to put a text overlay over the middle of these 3 shots here. And just for the purpose of illustration, we'll put my name, Trevor, as the text overlay over that shot.
So as I add in the text onto our footage, we've completed our edit. So I'm just going to put it over the middle shot there, make it the correct length. Now I can use my second plugin which Quantel has made for Final Cut Pro, and that is to be able to publish back to the Quantel server. So if you go to the export menu, go to publish, you can rename the shot and then be able to play it out to air immediately.
Now on the left we have Final Cut Pro during the publish process, and on the right hand side we have the Quantel playout port. And here is that edit playing, the first shot, the one with the text overlay, and the third shot. So now here we are on a Quantel desktop editor, and we're going to review that edit just in the same way that a producer or senior journalist might do.
The next workflow I'm going to show you between Quantel and Final Cut Pro is making an edit on the Quantel desktop. So we've used the SQ Cut timeline here to make an edit from that recording, put in a few short shots onto the timeline. Then what I'm going to do is publish this onto the Quantel server, pick it up in Final Cut Pro for finishing, doing things like graphics, color correction and that kind of thing. So as soon as we come onto the Final Cut Pro, we can go into the server search plugin, update it, find our edit, bring it into Final Cut Pro, and as soon as we open that up onto the desktop you can see all the cut points so we can add in our transitions.
This also makes a very interesting point because of course in order to make these dissolves and keys, the Final Cut Pro needs access to the underlying handles or tails behind the edit decisions Anna had made. So we can even extend the shots like this in the video or the audio. This is a completely live, uncommitted timeline. So now we're going to make this much more difficult and much more challenging for the system by making the edit much longer, much more realistic. So we're now going to add a 10-minute section of video from another clip, this time of a recording of a rocket launch in Florida, to make this much more representative. So now this timeline is 10.5 minutes long, and Anna's going to hit publish in the same way as we did before. This publish process is going to be fast, but it is going to be long enough for me to explain to you what's going on. Our server contains a number of clips, including the snowmobile and the rocket launch, represented by the blue and green strips here. And we've assembled sections of those on the timeline in our Final Cut Pro editor. We've then added some dissolves and keys, represented by the red blobs here. Then we hit publish. Because we know which pieces are already there, we don't need to move those again. We only need to move the new pieces. And this is why the publish process can be very, very fast and efficient. And in fact, this 10.5 minute timeline published in around 30 seconds. And here it is, ready to play. So here are the snowmobile shots, the first, the second, and the third with the dissolves between them. And then any moment now we're going to hit the 10-minute section of the rocket launch. Here it is. We won't bore you by making you sit through the full 10 minutes, but please take our word for it, it really was all there. So to summarize what we've shown you over the last few minutes, we've shown you the Quantel SQ server workflow with Final Cut Pro working on live recording high definition clips. We've shown you immediate playback of the finished edits from the Quantel SQ server. We showed the benefits of Delta publishing to speed up the process of moving timelines to the Quantel server, and we showed project exchange between Quantel editors and Final Cut Pro.